Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve just raised interest rates by another quarter point. So here's what this means for you. In the short term, the economy is going to be bumpy. We're going to see more layoffs, more bankruptcies, and more downward pressure on assets. But in my opinion, the most critical part to understand is the long term. You see, sometime in the future, the Federal Reserve is going to do this thing called quantitative easing again. They're already kind of doing QE, but it's in stealth mode, and it's mostly just for the banks. But first, let's understand what is quantitative easing. In layman terms, quantitative easing, aka QE, just means a lot of money printing. If you want to know why your house went up in value in 2020 and 2021, this is due to QE. And the government and the Federal Reserve love to use QE when the market gets bad and bail out the market. So the most important question we can ask ourselves is, what does this mean for us? One of the negative consequences of QE is it decreases the purchasing power of the dollar. You and I can't control how much money they're going to print during this next recession, but here's what we can control. As soon as you hear the media outlets talking about QE and printing more money, you should be looking at deploying as much of your capital as you possibly can. That's into the stock market, the real estate market, hard assets, this thing, that thing, anything. Because the day will come that we will lose the reserve currency. So yesterday, these two guys met and they said this: change that hasn't happened in 100 years is coming. Change they're referring to is the reserve currency, which America currently holds. No one knows when the dollar won't be the reserve currency of the world. And the one thing I'm certain of is Americans will never forget that moment when we lose the reserve currency, and so will our posterity.